All right, we're back with you here on the Art Lewis Show on WSGW. And as I mentioned, we were expecting a special guest with us this morning, and he is here. He is the newly appointed president of the Saginaw County Chamber of Commerce, and we say good morning to Eugene Seals. Gene, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
Congratulations are in order, I think.
Thank you. Yes.
And you've been with the Chamber now how long? You were doing other things for them.
Correct. This is the beginning of my fourth year at the Saginaw County Chamber of Commerce.
And with the retirement of Veronica Horn, the position became open.
That's correct.
And they were wise enough to select internally.
Yes.
So what do you, when you look at the job of president of the Chamber, what are your hopes and desires? What are you looking to achieve?
The biggest thing is to serve my community in a larger capacity. I'm homegrown. I've lived in different parts of the county, and I'm looking to serve the business community first, but the community as a whole, all of Saginaw County. And
the business community is certainly an important part of any community.
Yes,
I mean,
correct.
It's the lifeblood. It's where the money flows from.
That's right.
So how is the Chamber doing in terms of membership?
The Chamber's doing very well. Actually, we are the largest of the three in the Tri-County Great Lakes Bay region. We're the largest of the three chambers. We're growing at an immense rate right now. We're gaining over 100 members every year since I've been here.
Wow.
And we're retaining the majority of them.
What do you attribute that to?
I believe having a diverse group as far as who we're bringing in. We're not the chamber of old. We are a chamber that's looking towards the future, and I believe that helps when you talk to the businesses. And when I say diverse, I'm not just talking about race. I'm talking about the different types of businesses that we're bringing in. And what it does is it gives new businesses who want to rub shoulders with those who can help them grow. The chamber has become that vessel.
I'm glad to hear you say that about diversity, because I think when we talk about diversity, people's minds automatically go to race.
Correct.
Diversity in a community is a lot of things.
It's a lot of different things.
A lot of different things.
That's
and
correct.
It's what makes a community great,
I agree.
including a diverse population.
Mm-hmm.
It's all part of it. It's all part of it. So when you go out and you talk to someone about chamber membership, what do you tell them about the chamber and why they should join?
So for the past 3 years, that's what I've been as the director of membership and sponsorship.
That's why I
sales.
asked.
So what I did is I would just tell people, especially there was 3 different talk tracks, and one of them was with our larger business owners. What I would say is the big players, the ones who don't necessarily need the chamber to grow. What we become is a vessel for them to be able to give back to the community, where they don't have to come up with the programming. We have the programming. We have the opportunities for them to give back to the smaller businesses.
But even those big players, even though they may have their own lobbyists and representation,
Mm-hmm.
the chamber acts as a lobbying tool for business in Lansing
Correct.
and elsewhere.
Correct. We do advocate for our businesses, both large and small, and everything in between. Down in Lansing, we also have some access to lobbying in the federal halls as well. So we do what we can for the businesses, again, both large and small, to make sure that we're in their corner, not just locally, both in the state and the federal realm.
When we look at the business climate today, one of the problems businesses have faced is labor. You see any improvement in that area?
I know that we are attempting, so some of our partnerships in Lansing, one of the biggest things are some legislation that's coming through regarding labor and the costs of labor, trying to keep it from becoming something that's impossible, especially for our small businesses and even for our larger businesses who have a large workforce, so they don't have to make huge cuts. So we're making sure it's beneficial for the workers, but also making sure we're not putting our businesses in a headlock as far as what they can do with their workers, with their labor force. So there's some legislation coming through. I don't have all of the specifics right now. I just started 2 weeks ago.
That's why we wanted to get you early.
That's right. But I've been reading a lot, and I do know that there's some legislation coming through.
The other issue, for example, here in Saginaw County in Hemlock, Corning is building a $1 billion plant.
Yes.
They expect to employ 1,100 people. 2 questions. One, where do we get the 1,100 people? And then where do they live? Because housing has become an issue.
I know one of the biggest parts for those larger companies is having a ready workforce. The same thing happening with the medical diamond that we have coming in the next few years here is where the workforce going to come from. Do we have the active and ready workforce to fill all of the spots that we have? I can tell you that we'll be pulling from not only Saginaw County, but we'll be pulling from Bay County. We'll be pulling from Midland County, Isabella. We'll be pulling from even some Flint. And there are some cases where you'll see people coming from as far as Detroit. So we'll be pulling from the local area, but we'll also be pulling from other counties that are not neighboring.
The other thing, too, is how do we reverse the outflow from Michigan and get people to come back into Michigan? And it takes jobs.
It takes jobs. It takes a safe environment to live and to play. It takes great schools. So there's a lot of parts to that, and I am happy to say that we partner with a lot of those players. So Parks and Rec, we're very close with the Saginaw County Parks and Rec. They're doing a lot of work here in town to make sure Saginaw County is a safe place to play. But then we have the school systems that are in the county and neighboring the county that we make sure that they have what they need from us. And so we're trying to become a chamber not just of Saginaw, but a chamber of the entire county.
And you have the other concept is regionalization. There's the Midland Business Alliance, which houses the chamber there, Bay County Chamber of Commerce. Do you guys sit down and talk to each other? Absolutely.
I have great relationships with Tony and with Megan, and we do sit, especially now, getting prepared for our annual regional summit.
The 14th
of August, correct. And so we'll be doing a lot of communicating in regards to the summit, but even more so afterwards, because we have a lot of businesses that frequent the 3 counties as well. So we want to make sure we are working together to get different things, whether it's legislation. I know if we go to a legislator as a group, we're a lot stronger than if we go to a legislator separately.
What's been the reception in Lansing in terms of pro-business legislation?
Everything seems to be kind of favoring pro-business at this point. If we can get them, make sure that they're working together. That's usually
good luck. Let me know how that works.
That's right. That's usually the biggest thing is if they're working together. But if they can agree, I believe that pro-business legislation will go through pretty quickly. It seems to be that way right now from the things that I am reading at this point. Everything seems to be moving in a positive direction.
So let's talk for a moment about the future. When we look in the Seals crystal ball, what do you see the chamber 5-10 years down the road?
Right now, we're really close to 1,000 members in the Saginaw County Chamber, and the goal is in the next 5 years to be closer to 1,500. There are 4,500 businesses in our county, and we are not saturated with just short of 1,000. And so to continue to grow to where every business feels I'm not going to say the need, but everyone feels the desire to be part of the Saginaw County Chamber. So just to continue to get our message out. And the other thing is to make sure that we are the center for business growth in our county. That's the goal, is to continue to do what the great leaders that we've had in the past. Our past two leaders I've known very well, Bob and Veronica. And so to make sure we continue what they have done, but to add some new things that can catapult us into the future. So just continued growth is what I see, helping as many businesses as possible.
It always seemed to me, and I was a chamber member when I was in business for 14 years, the biggest advantage of being a chamber member was the networking opportunities, business to business.
Absolutely.
That's still true today, isn't it?
That is still true today, and we are actually coming up with more and more opportunities for businesses to network. The biggest ones we have are obviously our perk breakfast and our business after hours. And this year, things have even gone to another level where we're partnering with Party and McCarty at our next business after hours. We've partnered with so many businesses to host those events, and they're becoming larger and larger. Our last one was at Keller Williams to show off their new place and off of Fashion Square. So it was, the networking opportunities are there. We have some paid, we have some free. And as a business who is a member of the chamber, you get to attend 2 free events every month. And that's the Perk Breakfast and the Business After Hours. We do have paid events like the Summit, like our annual meeting, our awards luncheon, which is coming up here in September. And, we have all of these events that are readily available for businesses to, again, rub shoulders with those who can help them grow.
So the awards luncheon is in September?
Correct.
Is that earlier this year?
It is a month earlier than what we use. We usually host it in October.
Yeah. All right, we're going to take a break. Come back. We're talking to Eugene Seals. He's the newly appointed president of the Saginaw County Chamber of Commerce. We will return after these notes. All right, we're back with you. In studio with me is Eugene Seals. He is the president, the newly appointed president of the Saginaw County Chamber of Commerce. What got you into the chamber working to start with?
It's a very interesting story. I have a friend who was the former CEO, president of the Bay City Chamber. He had a position open up in membership, and I decided to apply for that position because I knew him. I knew his integrity. I knew that he was a great guy, not only for the community, but just a great man. And I applied for the position. He told me that I believe that you should work in Saginaw, and there's a position open. I didn't know how to feel about that.
Yeah.
But he was correct. He was a guy who knew he knew what I could do in Saginaw, and so he called Veronica to let her know that I was interested in the position. I had to then apply for the position in Saginaw. I didn't even know it was available. And so once I applied, we did the interview, and we talked about the ability to not only grow the membership, but to grow the diversity in every way. Diversity of business, diversity of race, the diversity of the Saginaw County Chamber of Commerce. And as people say, the rest was history.
Because, I mean, I've known Gene for a while, but that wasn't even on your radar, was it?
It was not. It was not.
What was your career goal?
I had a few.
Take us through the Seals' early years, your college, and then what?
College, and then it was professional basketball.
That's what I thought. You were in sports heavily.
That's correct. I was. The goal was to go into some type of coaching, collegiate. Actually, when I first started the job, I was still talking about that, going back into coaching, and so that was the goal, is to be a college coach after playing professional, after coming home and coaching in high school with Draymond and a few of those guys back in '09. But that was kind of my goal, was to go back into sports, to get back into sports some way.
Did you make it to the professional level?
I did.
How far did you go?
I went to summer league with the Clippers, and I did very well. I got injured, and after a pretty bad injury, brought me home for 2 years when I coached at Saginaw High. It just kind of took me out of it.
Injuries can do that, can't they? In professional sports,
no one can plan
in some ways.
That's correct. No one can plan that, and so I just knew that there was still a way. I always wanted to be a professional player so I could come back home and do something for Saginaw and for the county. And God saw it another way and put me in position and put me in place to be able to do something for the county in a different way.
So we're talking, 2009, 2010?
Correct.
When you came back. And your life, I mean, you were turned upside down.
Yes.
In effect.
Yes.
So what did you do back then?
I became a basketball coach. Coached over at Saginaw High first for 2.5 years. I went over to Saginaw Valley and was coaching with the men's team. Coached there for 2 years. Then I went to...
So you were working the dream.
I was working my dream, and I actually was on trajectory to... My next step was actually, I was talking with Tom Izzo about becoming one of the people on his staff. We were talking. It never turned into anything, but we had talked a few times about once I became a head coach, whether it was high school or a head coach at a smaller school, then I could possibly move into one of the positions. I just didn't stick around long enough for this to happen, and so it didn't work out. But again, it was all part of the plan to get me to where I am.
You still involved at all in sports?
I am. I still, last year I finished the first season for Saginaw United's girls basketball team. We went 13-10, a great first season, a lot of ups and downs. The team was definitely a lot better than 13-10. But when you're trying to put two schools together, who were such bitter rivals, it just, we made the best of the situation.
It's going to take time.
It definitely is going to take time.
But I was at the final game at the Dow.
Yes.
And that was a special night.
It really was. It really was.
It was amazing.
I was able to see a lot of my friends I hadn't seen in a long time. A lot of the professional guys coming back and who hadn't been here in quite some time. It was pretty good. That was to the team that put that together. I really appreciate the fact that they were able to do that. There's actually a picture from that night with myself and all of those who, missing a few people, like Charles Rogers, Darvin Ham, and Draymond Green were not there. There was a couple more that were not there who couldn't make it. But, that was a very special night, and I'm very grateful to have been part of it.
All right, hang on. We'll get one more segment in. We're talking to Eugene Seals, newly appointed president of the Saginaw County Chamber of Commerce. Back with you in studio, talking to Eugene Seals, the newly appointed president of the Saginaw County Chamber of Commerce. And, of course, Veronica led the chamber for a number of years. and we wish her well in her health, and hope she gets back, because you're going to do some transition with her, aren't you?
Absolutely. I don't know if it would be as successful as it could be without the transition time that I'll have with Veronica. So I'm very grateful to be able to spend the next 6 months with her here with me.
Part of the role of the chamber, and we talked about this earlier, is advocacy for business laws, favorable business laws in Lansing. Have you had an interest in politics before now?
No, I have not. My mother was very heavy in politics. My dad even dabbled a little in politics with school board and a few other things. So I have other family members, sister currently running for city council. And so I am not particularly interested in running for any type of office at any time. But I don't mind working with politicians.
And that really now is the role, isn't it?
Correct.
Yeah.
To work with them, not for me to run for office, but for me to assist and for them to work with me on different legislation to help businesses.
So let's talk about some of the chamber events and their purpose. Let's start with the Perk Club, because
Correct.
that's probably the one that draws the biggest crowd, other than maybe at Chairman's Ball.
Yes. The Percolator Breakfast is obviously a breakfast time event. It happens once per month. We do take the summers off after June, so July, August, and we start back again in September. It's 9 to 10 events that we have. We have networking prior to the event. We have a program, and then we have networking in the middle of the event, and then we have a speaker, and then the networking again after the event. So we're trying a lot of networking. We're trying to get the businesses an opportunity. So if you can't make it in the beginning, you still have opportunities to network with other businesses.
And we should tell everybody it's not just networking. It is breakfast. It's a breakfast meeting.
We
Perk
do.
Club is breakfast.
We do feed you. We have great sponsorships. It is free. It's a free event. It is set up for our members to grow your business. It's an opportunity, and that's what we want. We talked about networking being one of the greatest opportunities from joining the chamber. We want to make sure that every member has that opportunity.
And business after hours. That
Yes.
happens once a month too, doesn't it?
That's correct. And every now and then, since I've been involved, we will have 2 of them, but we're trying to get back to just one. I'm not a salesperson. I'm a people person, and that's what allows me to be successful in the realm of sales. But the business after hours is it's an event where we have also food, drinks, everything's free again. Food and drinks, and then opportunity for 2+ hours to network and rub shoulders with other business owners, other salespeople, everything that you can think of, from the top executives all the way to your entry-level people will be there, and get to know about each other's businesses and how you can help each other.
And it's an opportunity to introduce yourself to that particular business
Absolutely.
that you're at.
Absolutely.
And some of them, I've looked at the list and gone, I didn't know that was here.
Yes, we do. We do have a pretty unique list of businesses when it comes to business after hours. So it's an exciting thing for me to be able to meet all of those people who work at the businesses.
So what happens at this regional meeting coming up on August 14th?
Well, you have the 4 chambers who work together, including Mount Pleasant. Mm-hmm. So you have Bay City, you have Midland Business Alliance, and you have the Mount Pleasant Chamber along with us at Saginaw County. We are making sure that we work together, and we're just informing everyone in the region of how we work together.
And there's always a big guest speaker.
Yes, we always have, and this year we have a great one. The Accident Fund CEO will be in town to talk to us, and they have a great program where if you are signed up for the Accident Fund and you are a member of the chamber, your dividend checks that you receive back can sometimes even cover your membership for the chamber. So they have great programs. That's just one of the benefits. But for a lot of people, it's the biggest benefit because they get free chamber membership just from being signed up with Accident Fund. So that'll be great.
Well, Gene, we wish you the best in your new role.
Thank you.
And I'm sure we'll be chatting again in the future many times.
I'm sure we will.
Thanks for coming in today.
Thank you.
Eugene Seals appointed the new president of the Saginaw County Chamber of Commerce.